Cooler weather is around the corner, but while warm weather is still here, take advantage of our $49 home comfort checkup. Stay comfortable year-round with our services at Premier Heating and Air. And rebates are starting at $1,500 with the purchase of a new heating and air system and your choice of a free gift from a $100 Visa gift card, Wi-Fi thermostat, or UV light. Experience the Premier difference today and stay comfortable year-round with our services. Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company. Log on to premierishere.com.
All right, welcome to Chamber Talk. We got another great show for you today. Got my good buddy Rich Mascaro here with me. Rich, thank you so much for being here. And Rich, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I just want to say thank you, man. You invest. We celebrated yesterday a ribbon cutting for you guys, but Company Supply, Crooked Finger, and not just that, but in so many other ways in the community, you and your family are so important to us here. So thank you for that. But more today, we're going to talk a little bit about your role with City Council. Okay. But before we do that, I would love for you to take a minute to just to share with our viewers. Maybe somebody's watching the show today and they don't really know Rich Mascaro and Colby and the family. And so tell us a little bit about your family and how you came to Dublin and catch us up to speed a little bit.
My wife's family, on her dad's side, are from Dublin. Her dad is Greg Crabb. He was a builder here for forever. Her granddad, her dad and her uncle built homes here. Her family grew up in Dublin, right downtown on Smith Street, her granddad. And on her grandmama's side, they were out on Fountain Road in the county in Rents. And long story short, my father-in-law ended up at the University of South Carolina to play football. And he met my mother-in-law, who was the chief of the pharmacy at the VA for 35 years, Mary Crabb. And with that, my brother-in-law went there to play football, and my wife followed him there. And as I was rotating out of the Marine Corps, I didn't want to go back to Louisiana. And I was at first going to go to Johnson & Wales in Charleston, and they closed that campus and moved it up to Charlotte. And I said, well, you know what? A smart chef told me, go get your degree, and you can kind of become a chef and take the ACF certification if you get your degree in hospitality management. So that's what I did. And while I was there, I met my beautiful wife, and she followed me back to Louisiana, and she went to law school. And then my company moved me to North Carolina, and we had our second son, and we knew he was going to be born there, and then we moved to Dublin, and I came back with her in 2011, November, the week before Thanksgiving. And my wife worked at the public defender's office as an attorney, and then I worked at Dino's as a general manager and brick chef, and then I took a job, and then went back in the military in the National Guard, and I came home in 2014, and after all of that, I thought I was gonna be gone, and it was gonna turn into something else, and it didn't, and I stayed in the Guard until 2018, and in that time, Colby and I opened Company Supply on November 3rd, 2015, and we have 2 more kids now, so there's a family of 6. We've had our ups and downs like any family will, and Dublin has rallied around us. It's supported us. It's been good to us. My wife now is the chief magistrate judge for Lawrence County. I think she's doing an excellent job. I got brought into politics. Into city council because I saw a need to really improve the quality of life in some areas for small business and restaurant owners in particular. And then as I got in there, I started kind of seeing the faces of the people that I employed, and I wanted to see them succeed and use us as a stepping stone to get to the next venture of their life, and I have happily done that since since 22. So we're
3 years.
3 years, well, 21. Yeah, so we're coming up on a new election cycle. So,
Right,
yeah,
right. So something I've not asked you is I was dying to think and while you were speaking, and I'm listening, but I got to ask you, and I don't think I've asked you before, and I may know the answer, but in our house, my wife's an LSU grad, my son is a South Carolina grad. I heard you kind of mention both Tigers or Gamecocks.
So I'm a Gamecock. I love the South Carolina Gamecocks. I was lucky as I was getting out. I didn't want to go to LSU. When I was getting out of the Marine Corps, when I decided to go back to college and not go to culinary school. So I got there when Lou Holtz was there. An odd story, Lou Holtz was coaching at Carolina. He was also a graduate assistant at Carolina when my father-in-law got his scholarship to go play there. And my brother-in-law played football for him. So it was we were trying to rebuild our program. And I like the underdog. And so South Carolina, it's been up and down. I am a lifelong Saints fan, and so and I love the Braves, and every team I love has its ups and downs. Do I love LSU? I do love the Tigers. I grew up an LSU fan, and I started liking South Carolina when Steve Tannehill was there. I went to an all-boy Catholic school in New Orleans, and we used to play fun parlay cards, and just
see how you do.
Just to see how you do, and I had a chance to win $20 on one, and I hit him, and Steve Tannehill's the reason I won it.
Okay.
And so I was so I went and bought a South Carolina Gamecocks hat, and if you look at some of my pictures from my yearbook, I'm wearing a Gamecocks hat. So I love the Gamecocks. I hope Lenore Sellers
he's good.
Leads them to an awesome season. We're at South
Great
Carolina
start.
State last week.
You got Vanderbilt
through the rain. We're going to Vanderbilt, and we got Kentucky. I mean, we've got some scary opponents this year, but I think they're going to do okay. I think Shane Beamer's is contagious. I like his coaching style. Those kids love him. He seems to be at every level a great leader. So.
All right, fantastic. And I did that on purpose. We are going to get to our point, but I wanted you to get to know Rich, just in case you don't know him as well as I do. I think it's important that we know our city council folks, and Rich is just a good guy, just like all the rest of us. He got ups and downs, got struggles, and got successes, we stay after it every day, and that's what we can do best. So we're going to take a really quick commercial break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your time as a city councilman.
Okay.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota equipment. As the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S., they offer the versatility and reliability to get the job done right all year round. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $4,500.
Products you can count on, a name you can trust. That's Mid-State Tractor and Equipment.
Welcome back to the show. Again, great pleasure to have Rich Mascaro with me today. And Rich, we got to know you a little bit in the first segment, and a little bit about football and some things like that are a little bit important to us sometimes. But city council,
yes,
election time is coming up, and you've been serving. And man, I'm just going to say I think you guys have done a fantastic job. You've got a dynamic team. All of you guys seem to work in concert together. And so tell me, coming on to city council, kind of what your expectations were and what you were maybe hoping for, and then tell me how that looks today.
Let me say this. I don't think the previous councils
Sure, no, they're all
before us
yes, fantastic.
I think they did a great job. I believed in Joshua's ideas. I don't agree with everything. You can ask him. I'm probably an outlier on some things. But I believed in Dublin, And my expectations, prior to being on city council, I was with the Board of Assessors. I got appointed to the Board of Assessors, and I did that for 2.5, almost 3 years. And when I qualified to run, obviously I had to be replaced. But I saw the need to look at our city and be a part of the growth plan. And I believed in Mayor Kite's plan. I believed in the collective idea that we could grow and maintain our small town feel. And I think that there was a big push. I think it was time for some change, right? And I think certain council people were coming off, and I saw there was an opportunity. And I think that year 5 of us ran, maybe 5 or 6, 5 of us, and it was a very friendly,
and appreciate the fact that you guys all ran that way.
And we did, and so parlaying that into what we've done over the last 3.5 years, I think you had a lot of open minds to look at things a different way. Sometimes politics can get stagnant, and they just are steady Eddie, and there's no change. And I think that the group that we have now on council really challenges us as a town to grow and to get better. And I think that all of us are open to doing that. And we've not been perfect. We've not made everybody happy all the time. But I think by and large, if you gave us an overall rating, I think we got a solid A+. So
I would agree with that. Rich, what do you think in your time that you've been working with this group? And again, thank you for acknowledging, yes, we have had some wonderful leadership for many, many, many years. I remember when I came and met Mayor Best when he was the mayor. And Mayor Best, and I don't have to tell anybody, when you meet him, you think, well, this is a big old country guy. And I thought, I can't wait to go see a city council meeting. And boy, I came out that night and I said, wow, you talk about an efficient, effective meeting.
That's right.
He kept things on point. But for you and council now,
yes, sir.
from the time that you've served, what do you maybe consider, and whether it be individually or as a group together, what do you see as your win, your success that you're happiest about?
It's layered. That's
okay.
We've done a lot. I believe that first and foremost, we have had the utmost transparency in our financial position.
Okay.
We look at things in order of what should be done next and how we can effectively do that with the funds that we have. And some of those things, we've reduced crime. Chief Moon has done. I think that's one of the highlights of our hires is Chief Moon. He has done an excellent job. We have created, like Joshua and all of us were on board to do when we had our first planning session. We put a focus on keeping people safe, making their neighborhoods better, and fire safety. We built this new fire station. Chief Cutler's doing an amazing job. We have really put it in the hands of our leaders to lead. And they come to us with what they want and they need. And Blake Daniels sits through it and he pens it out. And if it makes sense to us collectively as a council, we make those decisions. We've rolled back the millage rate for the city, and we've maintained a balanced budget, and we've surplus in our general funds. Like, we are trying to do as much as we can with what we have. Right. And I think you have some really smart folks that are working every day. Joshua Powell's doing a heck of a job as a city manager. We are looking at how we can grow effectively and protect the taxpayers' financial statement, right?
So let's talk about that real briefly. You mentioned Josh Powell, you mentioned Joshua Kite, you've mentioned City Council. Some people don't understand how things work. So let's just say something needs to be done downtown or in the city limits. Maybe it's an ordinance or something that needs to be passed. And I don't know that people understand, well, Joshua Kite can't wake up one day and say, you know, I think I'm going to pass this ordinance. Or Josh Powell can't just come in as the city manager and say, hey, I'm going to do this. Maybe talk about how that process works and how you guys work together.
Well, I'll tell you how it works. So it's simple. In our council meetings, we ask for our citizens to come, and our citizens' voices are listened to. People often want to come up there in their 3 minutes and give the whole story, but if you watch, Mayor Kite will say, hey, why don't you talk to the city manager about that after? You'll have more time, make an appointment. And so we have done a good job of looking at things that we can change that need to be changed, and then listening to the taxpayer and the citizens and listening to what they're wanting. And we then go through the process of looking at how we can do that legally if it makes sense. And then we draft the ordinance, and then we hear the ordinance, and then we vote on the ordinance. And, some of them, some things are confusing. Some of our ordinances are just, they're outdated. And going back to our first planning session, I was like, man, I don't know how anybody could interpret this. And I think listening to us and I think the city manager listening to us and saying, hey, this is some places that I think we can get some movement, and it works, and it comes to fruition when it needs to, and the people have a voice, the council has a voice, but never will I've never heard Joshua walk into a meeting and say, we're going to change all of this.
This is what we're going to do.
Yeah. Joshua's a dynamic leader. He has got a big brain, as did Mayor Best. If you think that the mayor runs the city, you're absolutely wrong.
Gets the blame when things don't go correctly.
Always. I mean, it's a weak mayor system, and so it takes us collectively to vote.
Sure.
But is he our leader? Yeah, he's our mayor, and he has great ideas, and sometimes he and I have spoken. I've fallen flat on his ideas and not been a fan. But it's rare. And so I think that we all have independent thoughts and independent ideas. And, our ward council members, they have a ward to answer to. Well, the three at large listen to everyone, right? Like we get calls from everyone. And collectively, when things start moving, like somebody's got an idea. If Benny Jones has an idea and says, hey guys, this is what I think, or if Chris Smith or Bill Brown, whoever, we listen, and it's not always perfect, and it's not always quiet, but we always work.
Yeah. Well, and I would tell you, and you guys too, you have those conversations, you have them right there with TV 35.
That's right.
Filming what you're doing. And I would say 99% of the time it seems like, because I watch the council meetings that if I can't attend, very rarely is there a vote on something that's an important topic and it's, split 3 or 4 one way or the other. You guys are usually in harmony together. You've discussed these things and you're on the same page.
And pre-council helps. It helps with us doing that. We get our agendas 3-4 days in advance. Jamie will send them out. And we scan through them. If you have questions, you can call the city manager, or if it's in somebody's ward, you can ask questions.
Fantastic. Okay, Rich, we need to take one more commercial break, and then we come back. We've got an election coming up, and I want to give you a few minutes to talk about why you think people should vote for you for your at-large seat. We'll be right back.
This Alkyd primer is the go-to for all your exterior wood projects. Its oil-based formula penetrates for maximum adhesion, even on weathered surfaces. It seals uniformly and also provides excellent stain blocking, making it ideal for tannin-rich woods such as cedar and redwood. If you want a long-lasting premium finish on your exterior wood projects, start with Fresh Start Deck and Siding Primer.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 Seasons. Mid-State Pools and Spas welcomes spa season with a full lineup of spas from Marquee and Strong. Choose from award-winning comfort and a variety of sizes that'll make spa season your favorite season of all. Shop now for a great selection of pool and patio furniture at Mid-State Pools and Spas, with locations in Dublin, Warner Robins, Sandersville, and Vidalia. Mid-State Pools and Spas, this area's most trusted pool and spa dealer.
Welcome back to the show, and again, I got a very busy man here, but Rich, we sure appreciate you taking time out with us today. I know you had your family and had some things going this morning. Like I said, we celebrated ribbon cutting yesterday. That's right. And on top of those things too, you do spend a lot of time in the community listening and learning and advocating for pro-business and just things to make this a great place for us to live, learn, work, and play. And another reason that's so important and why we're having this conversation today is we have an election coming up.
You do.
And you have qualified and you are running to be reelected as an at-large council member. Tell us why you should be elected.
Well, it goes back to leadership. I was thinking about it on my way over here. I have served our country.
Thank you for that.
I have served our state.
Yes.
I've served our county, and now I'm serving our city. I think we have a really good harmony in our city now, in the direction that we're going, and I think that our strategic plan is a great one, and I think that we have the people on the council right now that can get us over the hump in there. So, and I play, I'm a challenger, and sure. I'm going to challenge. I'm going to ask questions. I am not going to take because we said so as an answer.
We always did it that way.
And I just think it's important to have someone. I've been called a bull in a china shop, and I don't care. At the end of the day, my job as a city councilman is to be a fiduciary of the taxpayers' dollars, and going back to the ordinances, and to make sure we have good ordinances. And I understand that part of the business of politics, right? Mm-hmm. So you have the inner workings, and I've taken a crash course in it, but it goes back to my days as a tax assessor, which was probably one of that 40-hour course they make you take before you vote. Just shows you how important taking care of the taxpayer and the citizens in the town are. I mean, our job is to continuously look for places to make our people's lives better. And I think I have been involved with a lot of that happening. And I've invested in our community. I've not just sat on Facebook and social media and cried about things. Mm-hmm. I'm actually doing it, and the things that I'm doing are affected by some decisions that some entities can control. And so I'm going to always ask questions. Well, if you have control over my money, what are we doing, mm-hmm. right? And I'm always going to challenge. I do not think that I don't think that we're, as a council, working in any other than a positive direction. And I think that a lot of people's ideas are they're going to get on council and they're going to make all these changes right away. And look, I believe in democracy, and I welcome anybody to run. I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing. But I think I am one of the best candidates to be there, and I think I've proven that. I've challenged things that I haven't liked at the city level. Mm-hmm. I haven't rolled over. And I think part of some pushback I get from some people that may not vote for me is because I'm not going to do just what you ask me to, because you want me to. Yeah. I'm not going to vote a certain way because you want me to vote that way. I'm not going to go distort the facts of things that we find.
Right.
I'm going to look at things logically and pragmatically, and I'm going to keep it centered on the people. I ran the first time on people-focused growth. And I live in a world, in my business life, where people on both sides, from the kitchen to mm-hmm. the servers, to the bartenders, to the patrons, that service is the paramount thing that makes us do well, right? Mm-hmm. And then the gratitude we give the people that come in and out of our establishments. And then, I feel like we have a focus, and I think that our strategic plan very systematically articulates what that focus is. And I think that at this point, I want to see that through. And then growth, we're showing growth. And there are some places that I want to start kind of, not start, but continue to kind of ask questions on. I think we need to be a little more business friendly. I think there's some things that
Sure.
we need to do a little bit better, and I voice them, and I question, and I think sometimes when I call Powell, he's like, man, are you going to ask me that again? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to keep asking the question until we get it resolved. So I'm focused on us growing. And at the end of the day, I've heard some folks comment that I wasn't from Dublin. Well, I'm not from Dublin, but my family's here. I'm here now.
Yeah.
I've hung my flag in
Yeah.
3-4 different locations. You know, it would be easy for me to go to my farm and just hang out and sell everything and
Right.
leave Dublin, but I'm not. I think the people here have too much potential, and I think they need good leadership to let them see how great they can be. You know, I tell my kid all the time, where I was this morning, you are not as good as you think you are, but you have the potential to be greater than you could have ever imagined. How much work are you willing to put into it?
That's right.
When are you going to, you have to ask us, you want to go be a baseball or football star? How much work are you going to put into that?
Yep.
You know, and so I believe wholeheartedly that people are our biggest asset. And I think that the understanding of that, and from the business side and the political side, that my understanding of that, and having led people in the Army and people in the Marine Corps, that people are your biggest asset. And if you do not treat them well, and you do not push them to treat themselves well, or give them the outlets to do that, then you're going to wither and die.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that makes sense. I mean,
It does, and I would tell you I appreciate two things I see with you, and one is transparency, and I think you're very transparent, and I think that's important as a leader in the community. And the other thing is your willingness to agree to disagree. Actually, I was trying to think, I can't think of anything you and I have said, oh no, we're at odds on that.
Yeah.
But I know you're the kind of person, you're the same as I am. It's okay, we don't have to agree on every single issue. There's more things we agree on than we disagree on.
This is a plug. So everybody knows Billy Nash and I we're friends now, and we've been friends. And when he opened, we had we banged heads a little bit. And so the other day I called him, and we were just talking. I wanted to get some information from him on something, and he gave me one of the best compliments I think somebody has ever given me. He said, Rich, he goes, we butted heads. He said, but I just want you to know that I would follow you into battle if you asked me to.
There you go.
Right? Because he knows what he's going to get.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
standing for what you believe in.
yeah, and it meant a ton to me that he said that. And you know, the guys down there, dude, in the downtown, Moses, Jen and Rob, with Dino's and Mo's on Madison, and the Hesters at Europi, man, we're all punching. We're just trying to make it work. And I think that we need to continue having leaders that are going to help people help themselves, not take from people to give it to someone else.
Gotcha. Amen.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us today and helping us make today and every day a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County.